Just yesterday, I discussed the possibility that we were subdividing the third wave into 1 2 1 2, and today we've closed negative, but intraday there was quite some volatility, and you can say net net that you're in the same range. We do have an outside bar, and so tomorrow's close a movement above today's high or low. Rather, a close above today's high or below today's low is a confirmation of trend, typically when you get that kind of a pattern. So if we do break the low that we made today, which is 5869, then we have a confirmation of having started the third wave now, and so that would be a clear indication of further selling. So what are we looking at now in terms of the structure? I thought of two alternates. The first one is to continue with this count only moving this minor 2 which I showed yesterday up to today's high. I did mention yesterday that if you go above 593038, then you could head till 596080. We didn't go that far, but we barely retraced a little short of 38%, and it would be more interesting to actually consider that instead of a minor 1 2, that we actually completed 1 here and 2 here. And you'll remember that 2 days back when I write up, I said that we could be doing an expanded flat, and I thought the previous leg which I've mentioned as uh, the first 1 2, I thought you'd get an expanded flat there, and it didn't happen, and now you actually have one which with perfect Fibonacci ratios. So I'm considering a very good chance that this portion may have been the fourth wave, and you actually got the fifth yesterday, one, and then expanded flat 1 2, which would fit my thought process 2 days ago. So whether it's split into 1 2 1 2 or it's a overall 1 2, we should be in the process of starting a third wave down. If this count is correct, then most probably today's high 5956 does not get crossed, and a confirmation of breaking either the high or the low of today would tell you that what I'm saying right now is actually happening. And when that does happen, what would be the immediate target, which means the third wave is extending to the downside. I wrote about that yesterday as well, and just the third of third would end up taking us all the way to 5700 by the time this entire sell-off is complete. If you just do some simple Fibonacci math, maybe if the fourth wave retraces a bit, the fifth wave could be as somewhere below 5600. So we are looking at a pretty continued move which would last for maybe another week from here, or maybe even 10 days from here, with the initial target being close to 5700 in the first leg down. Among some additional we look at the NSE mid cap index, and this was an interesting one. Have been looking for the breadth to weaken again, and actually while the Nifty's fallen over the last week, the breadth was not so weak. These indices did not fall so much, but probably they fell a lot earlier. So what was interesting? Interesting was that we got some very exacting retracements. The first retracement was exactly 50%, and so it looked like we should have started the third wave down, but this fall doesn't appear very clearly as a 5 wave in some cases, and in some like the BSE mid cap, and it does in this case. And then again, all of the last 2 days you're seeing the mid cap indices close positive. However, today's high is exactly at the 61% mark. So that makes it an interesting point that if we've completed an expanded flat on the Nifty, then we've also completed a 61% retracement of the subdivided leg for the mid cap indices, which could either be 1 2, or you could have a running flat with the whole pattern being 2, simply because I'm not too sure whether this fall itself is a clear impulse or not. But as long as you're within retracements, the sense is that the overall trend remains to the downside. So there's no reversal in the view on any of this, and you can see something very similar on the CNX bank index as well. So we'll look at that as well. So now I'm looking at the CNX bank index, and note all the charts that I've covered today are hourly charts. what you had here was a 5-wave decline retraced in the end of May, and then we've done a similar completion of another clear-cut 5-wave sell-off. Now it's always a mystery that when you're doing a subdivision, and if it's going to be 2, and the reason I'm doing that is that this wave itself is mildly I mean, we are never sure whether it's going to retrace as much as it did in the first leg, in which you almost did 60%. Okay, just short of that. But will you do that again? You've done 38, and what I can see is again very similar to the Nifty, the existence of an expanded flat. So we ended one a little below, a little earlier, and the fall below that low of 12,211 is part of an expanded flat, which may be complete at 38% retracement, today's high, and unless that is surpassed, then we are set for starting wave 3 of 3 down. Or wave 5 down, because there is actually no overlap between waves 1 and 4 today at the high of Nifty. So actually, if it does not go above this high, which is this low, which is 12,510, so as long as we don't go above 12,510, we could very well mark this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and start an extended 5th wave down. And an extended 5th wave down for the CNX Bank would mean going down to around 11,726 minimum, because that's not an extension. And if we did get an extension, then we would be looking at closer to around 11,245 from where we are today. So that's the wrap up. We have a 38% retracement on the bank index. We are looking at a near 50% retracement on the mid cap index, and we are at just short of 38% on the Nifty itself. And in each case, as long as these highs that were made today hold up, then I think chances are that we'll start the third wave down and be headed to 5,700 at least in the days ahead. That's all in this update for you. Thank you.